Okay, so this deep dive,
Yeah.
well, it starts with a bang.
It does.
Literally, we're
Yeah.
diving into the assassination of Brian Thompson,
Mhm.
the CEO of UnitedHealthcare.
Wow.
And the sources we have,
Yeah.
it's like they read like a thriller, you know,
Oh,
complete
yeah.
with those chilling details
Mm,
that raise way more questions than answers.
sure.
So our mission today
Yeah, what is it?
is to go beyond the headlines,
Right.
unravel the mystery,
Yeah.
and really explore what this whole event reveals about the state of healthcare today.
It's a big one.
It is a big one.
A story that grabs you right away.
Absolutely.
The fact that this happened in broad daylight,
Yeah.
outside the New York Hilton Midtown, no less,
Right in the middle of everything.
adds a layer of audacity to the crime.
Yeah,
It's almost unthinkable.
it really is.
You know?
It was December 4th, 2024,
Okay.
just before 7 a.m.
Early.
Thompson was on his way to like an investor conference, and a masked assailant just appears.
Just like that.
Out of nowhere,
Oh
opens fire,
my gosh.
and then vanishes.
Vanishes. How?
This bicycle.
A bicycle.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
The bicycle is a detail that
It really sticks out.
sticks out.
It's so unexpected, you know,
I know.
in this kind of situation.
Right.
It makes you wonder, was this a calculated move
Yeah.
to blend in with the morning rush?
Yeah.
Or is there something more to it?
Right.
Maybe even symbolic.
Yeah. It's definitely a detail that sticks with you.
Yeah.
But then you add in the shell casings,
Oh, yeah.
engraved with the words deny, defend, and depose.
Oh.
Talk about a message.
It's chilling.
It is.
Those 3 words, they're like a coded message,
Yeah.
hinting at these motives that run so much deeper
Absolutely.
than just a random act of violence, you know?
Right.
It makes you think, who felt so wronged by Thompson or even the system as a whole that they would resort to this?
Such an extreme act.
Yeah.
And there's even surveillance footage showing the suspect on a phone
Oh, wow.
just before the shooting.
So that suggests premeditation.
Definitely.
Massively. A coordinated hit.
A coordinated hit.
Yeah. Someone clearly wanted Brian Thompson dead
It sounds like.
and put in a lot of effort to make it happen.
Yeah, but who?
Right. And why?
Exactly the big question.
So I guess to understand that, we need to understand Brian Thompson,
We do.
both the man and the CEO.
Right beyond the headlines and the tragedy,
Mm-hmm.
there's a life story here,
Yeah.
and it's worth exploring.
The sources paint a picture of like a classic success story.
Oh, yeah? How so?
Midwestern roots,
Okay.
valedictorian in high school, then on to the University of Iowa,
Okay.
where he graduated top of his class with an accounting degree,
Wow.
joined United Health Group back in 2004,
Okay.
and just steadily climbed the ranks,
Uh-huh.
eventually becoming CEO of UnitedHealthcare in 2021.
So it sounds like he was more than just a number cruncher
Yeah, his colleagues really highlight his focus.
on value-based care.
And for our listeners who maybe aren't familiar with that term,
Yeah.
it's a model that prioritizes preventative services and patient outcomes.
So he wasn't just about profits then.
Well, that's the complex part, isn't it?
Okay.
He did champion this patient-centric approach,
Mhm.
but there are sources that point to a darker side as well.
You're talking about the Department of Justice investigation
I am.
into insider trading.
Yes, remember that Thompson sold $15.1 million
A lot of money.
worth of United Health Group stock just days before
Oh, wow.
news broke about an antitrust probe into the company.
Yeah. And that timing
The timing is suspicious.
raised a lot of eyebrows.
It did.
Thompson claimed it was just a coincidence.
Right.
But it definitely cast a shadow over his reputation.
Absolutely. And this wasn't the only controversy around the same time.
Yeah.
UnitedHealthcare was hit with massive protests
Oh, wow.
over denied healthcare claims.
Wow.
Thousands of people took to the streets,
Really?
accusing the company of putting profits before patients.
That's a serious accusation.
It is.
It seems like there was a real disconnect there
Yeah.
between Thompson's stated commitment to patient care and what people were actually experiencing.
The reality for many United Healthcare members.
That's a problem.
It is a big problem.
And then
Oh, there's more.
the data breach.
Oh, yeah.
Millions of personal records compromised.
Wow.
The company ended up paying a $22 million ransom.
But the damage to public trust.
Oh, yeah.
Significant.
Makes you wonder how much those events
Yeah.
contributed to the anger and resentment.
Directed at Thompson and the company, for sure.
Right. So we have this picture of Brian Thompson as a man of contradictions.
It's true.
Successful leader with this focus on patient care,
Right, but also...
embroiled in scandal,
Yeah.
facing accusations of putting profits over people.
A classic tale,
Right.
of ambition and success and the potential for corruption. That so often comes with immense power.
And his assassination just throws all of this into even sharper relief.
It really does.
Was it connected to these controversies?
Yeah, was it revenge?
A message from someone who felt wronged.
Or something else entirely?
Right.
I just don't know.
The healthcare industry was reeling after the assassination.
I can imagine.
I mean, this wasn't just any executive.
No, not at all.
We're talking about the CEO of one of the largest healthcare providers
Wow.
in the world,
Yeah.
gunned down.
In broad daylight.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it really is.
The brazen nature of the attack, coupled with the uncertainty surrounding the motives,
Right.
sent shockwaves
It did.
through the entire sector.
It's as if the veil of invincibility that often surrounds powerful figures
Yeah,
was suddenly ripped away.
precisely. And for UnitedHealthcare,
Yeah.
this tragedy just compounded
Oh, yeah.
the legal and operational challenges they were already facing.
They were thrust into a leadership crisis.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Their stock price plummeted,
Wow.
and they faced a daunting task,
Which was...
finding a new CEO
Yeah.
who could navigate these turbulent waters.
Yeah, the pressure was immense.
It really was.
They needed someone who could not only lead,
Right.
but also restore trust.
With members, investors.
Yeah, and the public at large.
It was a defining moment for UnitedHealthcare,
For sure.
a true test of their resilience.
Yeah, but it also raised some fundamental questions.
About the company itself,
Like,
could they address their internal flaws? Could they rebuild their tarnished reputation? And
Right.
could they find a leader
Yeah,
capable of steering them through such a tumultuous period?
so many challenges.
So many. Feels like this assassination opened up a Pandora's box.
Yeah,
Not just for UnitedHealthcare,
right.
but for the whole healthcare industry.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
This wasn't just about one man
Right.
or one company.
Yeah.
It exposed the deep-seated tensions, the anxieties that exist within this system.
Right.
That's both essential and incredibly controversial.
Absolutely. We've got rising costs,
Yeah.
declining access to care, data breaches, scandals, and now
This shocking act of violence.
yeah, it's like the system itself.
Is cracking under pressure.
Yeah, and those engraved shell casings,
Oh, yeah.
deny, defend, depose.
Right.
It suggests a level of anger and resentment
Sure.
that goes way beyond,
Non-typical corporate disputes.
yeah, it's like someone was trying to send a message,
A message to who?
not just to Brian Thompson,
Right.
but to the whole healthcare
That
establishment.
makes you wonder about the ripple effects.
It really does.
Will other healthcare execs be looking over their shoulders,
Yeah.
fearing they might be next?
Right. Will this lead to
A heightened security,
yeah,
a more insular culture among healthcare leadership?
it's
Those are valid concerns.
yeah.
This event could create a climate of fear, paranoia even,
Ah.
making it even harder
Yeah.
to address the systemic issues that
Yeah.
plague the industry.
So where does this leave UnitedHealthcare?
Right.
I mean, they were already facing a mountain of challenges,
They were.
and now they have to navigate this
But
tragedy.
its aftermath.
What does their future look
Well,
like?
their immediate challenge
Yeah.
is finding a new CEO.
Right.
Someone who can not only steady the ship,
Mm-hmm.
but also chart a new course.
It's a tall order.
It is a tall order.
They need someone who can inspire confidence,
Right.
address the internal issues,
Rebuild trust with the public.
and navigate those legal battles.
That are sure to come.
Yeah, they need to do it quickly.
Absolutely. The longer this uncertainty lingers,
Yeah.
the more damage is done.
To their reputation, their bottom line.
Exactly. But beyond the immediate crisis,
Right.
this event forces us to ask
Yeah.
some fundamental questions about UnitedHealthcare's future.
Okay, like what?
Like, will they continue down the path set by Thompson?
With the focus on value-based care.
Exactly. Or will they shift course?
Okay, will they prioritize profits?
Patient care, or...
Try to find some kind of balance between the two.
It seems like a pivotal moment for them.
It really does.
They could double down on existing strategies or use this as an opportunity
to reevaluate.
to reevaluate their priorities, make some significant changes.
But what kind of changes?
Right. Where do they even begin?
Yeah.
Well, the sources suggest
Yeah.
that one of the most pressing issues
Uh-huh.
is transparency.
Okay.
From the insider trading allegations to
Right.
data breach,
Mm-hmm.
there's this sense that things are happening behind closed doors.
Oh, yeah.
Information is being withheld.
And that lack of transparency just breeds mistrust.
It does. It makes people wonder.
What else is being hidden?
Exactly. And that mistrust erodes the foundation of the healthcare system.
It really does.
People need to feel confident
Absolutely.
that their healthcare providers are acting in their best interests, that their information is being protected, and that decisions are being made with their well-being in mind.
Another issue that keeps surfacing is this conflict between profits and patient care.
Right. It seems like in many cases, the bottom line takes precedence
over the well-being of the patients.
It's a fundamental tension within the healthcare industry.
For sure.
Healthcare is a business.
It is.
And businesses need to make a profit.
Right.
But when that profit motive becomes the driving force,
Yeah.
it can lead to decisions
that prioritize financial gain over patient outcomes.
Exactly, like denying claims to save money.
Right.
Even if it means people don't get the care they need.
And that's where the protests come in. People feel like they're being exploited.
Right.
That their health and well-being are being sacrificed for profit.
They're demanding a system that prioritizes their needs.
Not just the bottom line.
And this isn't just a problem with UnitedHealthcare.
No, this is a systemic issue.
It is.
It affects the whole industry.
You're absolutely right.
Yep.
We're seeing this tension play out across the board.
Rising costs.
Declining access.
And a growing sense of frustration.
Among both patients and providers.
It's a mess.
It's a complex web of interconnected issues.
So if we're talking about potential solutions,
okay,
where do we even begin?
Right. What needs to happen?
What needs to change?
Well, one crucial step
is
addressing this issue of transparency.
Okay. So more open communication.
Yes. More open communication from providers.
Right.
More accountability for their actions. And a greater willingness to engage with the public.
So it's about shining a light on the system.
It is.
So to speak.
Letting people see what's happening.
And holding those in power accountable.
Exactly. Increased transparency can help build trust.
Okay.
And foster a more collaborative environment.
But transparency alone isn't enough.
You're right.
We also need to address this fundamental conflict between profits and patient care.
That's a much more complex issue.
It is.
It requires a fundamental shift
in how we think about healthcare.
Exactly. How do we create a system that is both financially sustainable and truly patient-centered?
Do you think it's even possible?
To reconcile those two things.
Yeah.
To have a system that is both profitable and puts patients first.
That's a tough question.
It is a challenging question.
Yeah.
There are no easy answers.
Right.
But I do believe it's possible to create a system that's more balanced, one that prioritizes the needs of patients while also ensuring the financial stability
of healthcare providers.
Exactly. It's about finding that sweet spot.
Where both patients and providers can thrive.
Exactly.
So what would that look like in practice?
Okay.
What kind of changes would we need?
Well, one idea that's been gaining traction is moving away from the fee-for-service model.
And for our listeners who might not be familiar, that's where providers are essentially incentivized
to perform more procedures.
Even if they're not medically necessary.
So instead of focusing on quantity,
we need to focus on quality.
Exactly. We need to reward providers for keeping people healthy.
Right.
Not just for treating them when they're sick.
That's a big shift.
It is.
It would require a major overhaul of the way healthcare is financed.
And delivered.
That's a big undertaking.
It would be a major shift. And it won't be easy.
Right.
But I think it's essential.
If we want to create a system that's truly patient-centered.
Yes. A system that prioritizes well-being over profit.
Right. A system that's worthy of the trust.
And confidence of the people it serves.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
This assassination, this tragic event, has really opened up a Pandora's box of questions.
About the state of healthcare in America.
It has.
And while there are no easy answers,
right,
I think it's crucial that we continue to ask these questions.
To have these conversations.
To push for meaningful change.
Because ultimately, this isn't just about Brian Thompson.
Or UnitedHealthcare.
This is about all of us.
And the kind of healthcare system we want to live in.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
Well, sure.
From the assassination of Brian Thompson to the challenges facing UnitedHealthcare.
And the whole healthcare industry.
Right. It's easy to get lost in the weeds.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to bring it back to you, the listener.
Right back to the individual.
Yeah. What are the key takeaways here?
Yeah. What does this all mean for you?
What does it mean for the everyday person?
I think the most important takeaway is that healthcare isn't just some abstract concept or a political football.
Yeah.
It's about people's lives.
It is.
Brian Thompson's death, as tragic as it was, It's a stark reminder that behind every healthcare decision, every policy, every dollar spent, there are real human beings
whose lives are affected.
Exactly.
It's a reminder that healthcare is personal.
It is.
It's about real people.
Facing real challenges.
Making tough decisions.
Trying to navigate a system that often feels
overwhelming,
confusing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think this event,
this tragedy,
as horrible as it is, could be a wake-up call.
Okay.
A reminder that we need to do better.
We need to create a system that is
more humane,
more compassionate,
more responsive to the needs of all Americans.
So where do we go from here?
Yeah, what can our listener do?
To be a part of this change, to make their voice heard.
Well, for starters, I think it's crucial to stay informed.
And informed about what's happening.
Yeah, read about the issues.
Understand the different perspectives.
And engage in thoughtful conversations.
Talk to people.
Yes, don't be afraid to ask questions.
Challenge assumptions.
Demand better from our healthcare system.
Knowledge is power.
It really is. The more we understand, the better equipped we are to advocate for change.
And there are so many ways to get involved.
You can contact your elected officials.
Support organizations.
They're working to improve healthcare.
Yeah.
Even just talk to your friends and family.
Start those conversations.
About these issues.
It's about creating a groundswell of awareness.
A collective push for a better future.
Recognizing that we all have a stake in this.
We all have a role to play.
In shaping the future of healthcare.
Exactly. And I believe that change is possible.
It is.
It won't be easy.
Right.
It won't happen overnight.
But if we work together,
if we demand better,
we can create a system that truly serves the needs of all Americans. Couldn't have said it better myself.
I try.
This deep dive has been fascinating and sobering.
It has.
Well, I uncovered a lot.
About the assassination.
About Brian Thompson.
The complexities of the industry.
And the challenges we face.
As a nation.
But we've also talked about solutions.
Hope.
About hope for a better future.
And I think that's the key takeaway here.
Yeah.
The situation is complex.
It is.
There are no easy answers.
But we can't afford to be complacent. We can't.
We need to stay engaged, stay informed.
Keep pushing for change.
It's a call to action for all of us.
It is.
And on that note, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
We've talked about the possibility of this tragedy being a catalyst for reform.
Right, for positive change.
But what if the opposite happens?
What if?
What if instead of leading to greater transparency
and accountability,
it leads to even more secrecy?
More fear.
A further entrenchment of the status quo.
That's a sobering thought.
It is.
It really underscores the importance
of staying vigilant and engaged.
The future of healthcare isn't predetermined.
We create it.
We create it together.
Through our actions, our choices.
Our voices.
Stay curious. Keep asking questions.
And never underestimate the power of your voice.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.